Alright, guys. Here we go. BrackCast is starting very soon. Switch to this. What's up, Twitch? What's up, YouTube? It's Thursday, just a little past 11 p.m. Eastern, and I'm back. It is BrackCast number 92, and we just got back. Me and Kyle just got back from a 1 week all-inclusive package vacation with Sunwing, and we visited Jewel Punta Cana Resort and Spa. You can see that right over here next to me in this window. And I figured this would be a good opportunity to kind of give it a review, give the resort, the whole vacation experience a review. I'll probably be posting my kind of like documented written experience on TripAdvisor. I did promise a few of the staff there that I would write some good words about them. So I am in the process of writing that up, my TripAdvisor review. I think Kyle will be joining us tonight, hopefully soon. I know he's just doing some, I think he's just got to get some cleaning up done at his place, and hopefully he'll join us. But basically, guys, we left from April, when was it? April 13th to 20th. And we actually booked the trip April 2nd. I'd been wanting to go on a vacation for, I don't know, since past September. We haven't gone on one since 2020, February of 2020, before the pandemic. It was actually me, Kyle, and another friend, two other friends, Dan and Dede, also part of Team Brack. And yeah, we went to Puerto Plata, also Dominican Republic. And so it's been a long time coming. We've been, obviously during the pandemic, anyone would have wanted to go away, but you weren't allowed to. The world was shut down. So I've been wanting to go since September, but work-wise, it was just so busy that I just couldn't spare the time to go. And a couple of months ago, I did kind of come up with a plan with Tom. He's on this podcast from time to time. He joins us here at BrackCast, and he and I were trying to like get back into the groove of like fitness and exercising. So I figured it would be a good objective, like a good kind of resolution, that we would get fit. We would give ourselves 2 months to get fit and get like a beach body ready, so that we would go on an all-inclusive. So that was 2 months ago, and so it was actually coming time to mid-April. We were gonna go, but Tom got a new job. Congratulations, Tom. So he wasn't able to go, but Kyle did reach out again, since I guess he's been feeding for some beach, for some sand in the ocean too. So he messaged me after work on April 2nd, and he just started asking me, hey, am I still going with Tom? And I was like, well, I asked Tom, and he can't go. He's got a new job, so he can't take the time off. But Kyle's like, hey, if you're still going, I'm down. And I'm like, well, this is my chance. So I looked at my schedule, and it just turned out that I had like a span of about, I'd say like 12 days that were open. Like it was either like leaving from 13 to 20 or 14 to 21. Basically, those were my only options. Like I couldn't do a 10-day. If I could have, I would have. But we looked for a 7-day package. We went on sunwing.ca. Usually the two sites that I like to go to are Sunwing and Sell Off Vacations. So what I'd like to do is go to like last minute deals. Here, last minute deals here too. In the past, Kyle and I have been very comfortable with booking within the last 12 hours before departure. So like, if I know that let's say we booked April 13th to the 20th, we would look on April 12th at night. And we would be packed, ready to go, but we just wouldn't know where we're going yet. It would just be based on what is the best deal at the time. So we've done that. That's what actually we did February of 2020 when we went to Puerto Plata. we were all ready to go. We were all at our friend's house. It was actually Krista's place, and we were just chatting, and we're like, all right, it's time. We should look up where we're gonna go tomorrow. And yeah, that's what we did. We went to Sell Off. We went to Sunwing. That one ended up being booked through Air Canada Vacations. I think it was like yeah, it was Air Canada Vacations, and we booked it within 12 hours of departure. But this one we looked at on that went on that April 2nd. I think it was a Wednesday, and yeah, we found. Let's see if we click on Dominican. Actually, what I'll do is I'll pull up the same package. Let's see. I wonder if it still comes up here. So these last minute? Hold on here. 27th to June 3. Let's see if we select Dominican Republic, Punta Cana. So Punta Cana is my favorite place to go so far. I've done Cuba, I've done Mexico, Punta Cana, and Jamaica, and Puerto Plata. And Puerto Plata is a little bit cheaper, but I do think the beaches in Punta Cana are better. And I think overall, still the package, the the packages are better in Punta Cana. The food was also better too. Cuba, I think, has the best looking beaches for sure, by far, postcard looking beaches, white sands, very blue, calm water. But um, that's also very cheap to go there. It's probably half the price of now Mexico or Dominican Republic or Jamaica. But it's because the resorts and the food there aren't great. You know, they don't have a lot of import options, so they don't have a lot of choice when it comes to like how how great of an experience they can offer there, because everything has to be, you know, made there. Um, you know, so it doesn't end up being a very great experience overall. Great beaches, like I said, but you know, kind of watered down drinks. The food was, you know, sorry to say, it was not good in the resorts. And anyway, it was nothing for me to recall any kind of like positive experience. But this was like over 10 years ago. It's probably improved since then. Prices have gone up overall. So Mexico was better than Cuba, but I still didn't think it was as good as Dominican. Apparently that's changed, because even with prices now these days, even, you know, a little bit poor before the pandemic and post pandemic, prices now for Mexico are almost up as high as Dominican is now. So I'm assuming that also means like the caliber of experience, the tier of experience is also improved, or so I've been told. So I might give Mexico another try in the future. We only went to Oasis Cancun once. It was me and Kyle as well, booked last minute. That one was a great deal. I remember we booked it in December of, I think, 2013, and what we booked within the last 12 hours, we booked, each of us had to pay $630 Canadian. That includes flight and the resort all inclusive package. And what we heard was when we were there, other Canadians on our plane in the same, you know, span, 7 day vacation, they paid $1,000, $1,000 to $1,100 for what we paid $630. So definitely it was a great deal to do last minute back then. I remember when you would look last minute deals, you'd get 30 to 40, maybe to 50% off the retail price, the regular retail price. But nowadays, it's like 2 or 3% off. It's not really that great of a deal anymore. But yeah, let's look it up. Let's see if I can pull up the same Jewel Punta Cana now, to see. So we were looking originally around the $1,500 mark. We were looking at Grand Serenis. It was a 4-star, 4.5 star actually, for this Caribe Deluxe Princess. That looks good too. Punta Cana, Ocean Blue and Sand, 13 Jewel. There it is, last minute. If we had booked it last minute, I mean, I think the prices are continuing to go down now too. You know, like You can see here on a Saturday it's 13. Thursday it's more expensive. Usually, oh, because this is later. This is May 27. Let's look at last minute, guys. Sorry. What is it? Today's the 27th. Let's just say if we leave tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, so we go 7 days. Wow. Look at that, guys. If we were to book last minute leaving tomorrow, wait, what? Oh, this went back to, I'm confused. I'm confused. I thought it was cheaper here. Okay, this is for later in May. Maybe last minute is not so easily booked anymore because flights probably get full. Like I'm pretty sure our plane was close to full as well. So maybe that's why it's so much more difficult to get all last minute deals this time. So Kyle and I, we paid $17.25 each for this Jewel Punta Cana. $17.25 each, and it was only like 3% off. It says new hotel here. You can see on the top right, just above this price, new hotel here. So that kind of made us think that it was new, like brand new. We didn't realize until way later in the trip, well, not way later, but like after we had already arrived, that it was a rebranding of Dreams Punta Cana, which is a reason why there are already, where is it? I think it shows how many reviews. If we click this, yes, $17.85 is regular price. Oh, I shouldn't have clicked it. Here, let's go back. $17.85 is regular price. We paid $17.25, but here it's on sale for $13.45 if we go on May 27 for 7 days. That's a little tempting, I will say. I might check my availability again. But anyway, you can see here, guys, the deals are getting better again as we get later into the spring, like early May. I think it's heading into typhoon season or hurricane season. I do know that we did see quite a bit of seaweed this time. I think the best time to go is September or October. From the times that we've gone around that time, we didn't really see a lot of seaweed in the beach. They do, have workers that come and sweep it up, or there's like a machine that comes and sweeps it across and cleans up the beach every morning. But over the day, just more seaweed comes in from the sea, from the ocean. So hopefully Kyle will join us at some point. But when we were looking at the deals, I think it was around 1,500 was the cheapest that we found. And then we were looking, and then we saw that Jewel, for just a couple $100 more, around $1,700, we would get a new hotel, and it was a 4.5 star rated here on Sunwing. We checked Sell-Off Vacations as well. Same package, same price, same deal. Everything was the same, so it was like we figured might as well just book it directly through Sunwing, because Sunwing was the airline. And yeah, impulsively that same night, I think about 2 hours of kind of debating back and forth whether we're actually going to book it or like where we're going to go. We finally booked it. And we figured, not take the risk of trying to wait longer, because we did notice that other packages, when we were looking within a day or two of that day, some of the prices go up. So we do, generally you find that leaving on a Tuesday or a Thursday is the cheapest option when you're doing a 7-day all-inclusive. Sometimes, like as you saw here at the above, let's see, like Saturday looks a little cheaper than this Thursday, but there might be something about like probably May 2-4 long weekend. So a lot of people tend to book, for that May 2-4 long weekend. So that's probably why this Thursday is higher priced than this Saturday for that long weekend. But yeah, generally Tuesdays and Thursdays are the best price. So the day of, Kyle and I get to the airport about 3 hours in advance. We have to do this migration form. I think it's Dominican migration. There, e-ticket migration or migración, right? You click this, and you have to apply for this migration ticket. There's no cost, but you have to do it. You have to punch in your passport information for embarking and departure. All right, sorry, like, yeah, for when you're going there, you there's one form, and you can at the same time when you're applying for the form to get there, there is a return form as well that you can fill out just after the first form. You need this. This is something if you don't do this online, you will have to go to the airport and they make you do it on your phone before you can even get into the check-in line for your luggage. So this is a new thing. I didn't have to do this 10 years ago, whenever, or even just 3 years ago when we went to Puerto Plata in 2020. We didn't have to do this. It might be a new thing with like COVID or post-COVID or whatever. But one thing we noticed, this was the first kind of hurdle that we faced. My sister told me about this form actually a day before we left, so luckily we did fill out this form before getting to the airport. We did it here at my house. And when you get to the point where you have to select your resort, Jewel wasn't part of that drop-down list. Jewel Punta Cana wasn't on the list, so we're like, what do we do? And we didn't want to like have to call Sunwing. We didn't have to. It was like really late it was like just 4 or 5 hours before our departure, so we figured let's just pick the closest resort to Jewel. So I googled it, and when you look up Jewel Punta Cana, it's on Google, but when you look at the map, right next, like actually at the same spot, it says Dreams. There's like a Dreams Punta Cana like resort booking thing office. So we're like, all right, is Dreams on the drop down list? And it is. So I was able to select Dreams, and that's what we used for our migration form to and from Punta Cana. So once you get to the airport in the morning, there's a Sunwing representative, I think, that asked us if we already have it ready. Like, once you finish the form, you get this PDF or this QR code that's emailed to you. You have to show that once you're at the airport. They don't actually scan it at the airport. They just want to see that you did it. And that way you can get into the check-in line. So with Sunwing, this was a little bit annoying. You can see it here, guys. The free first checked bag. Free first checked bag. So you can get a personal item. It could be a purse or a small backpack. We brought backpacks. Normally, when we're doing an all-inclusive, we would do a personal and a carry-on. One carry-on would be included, and that's all we need for the 7 days. Like, we don't really pack a lot. We're just guys who just board shorts, some shirts, and maybe one or two sets of like nicer clothes for the evening. We generally can fit it in a carry-on, but here they don't include the carry-on. If you want to have a carry-on bag, it's $25 each per way if you want that on the plane. So we're like, okay, let's just do the free first checked bag. Each of us get our own checked baggage. So because of that, you do have the freedom of being able to pack a larger bag. Kyle did pack a larger suitcase than he normally would if he had just the carry-on. What I did was I just used my same carry-on luggage, but I checked it in to avoid the cost. So, we packed all our clothes in our carry-on. I did have like one emergency like set of clothing in my backpack just in case, but it wasn't like for the beach. You show your migration form, get in the check-in bag, luggage, everything. A lot of it's like self input now. Like there's a lot of kiosks and like things you can punch in yourself, which I like. It's a little bit quicker, but I don't know if it's as easy or convenient as having someone do it for you at a counter, at the check-in counter. But then we both put our bags in. We're ahead of time, ahead of schedule. There was this one queue line that I remember in the airport. Nobody's in the line. So like we're looking at the entrance, we'd have to like walk a little bit around, but instead we climb under this rope because no one's in line. Like absolutely no one was in this queue line. But this security lady saw. She was like, "Oh, where did you guys come from?" Or like, "We just went under the rope because there's nobody in line," and she made us go back out of the queue line, walk around, re-enter the empty queue line just to walk past her. It was a little annoying. I feel like that's like one of those things where you're kind of just flexing your job. It doesn't really serve any purpose but to just, you know, maybe be by the book again. Like she didn't just do it to us too. Anyone who kind of like noticed there was nobody in the line who would like duck under that rope, because once you've checked in your bag, it just makes sense to duck under that rope. But I guess she's having a little bit of a power trip. She made everybody walk around a little bit further just to get into the entry of the queue, of the empty queue, and then we walked by. Security was pretty quick. I remember this one guy had a water bottle, and he had still like an inch of water left, which he should have just drank or tossed really before getting into the security line. But he had it in the security line, and so that was a bit of a hassle. He got a little annoyed about it because like they wouldn't let him through. But I mean, we know that you're not supposed to bring liquids over 100 milliliters. Like, you should know that. But anyway, we get through. It's Terminal 3 for us. I thought it was Terminal 1. Every other time I went on a vacation, it was Terminal 1. But this time it was Terminal 3. We get to our gate. There's still like 2 hours left before departure, so we went to McCool's or something. Fionn McCool's, had a couple beers, getting ready for the vacation, and then we finish our beers, and then we head to the gate. Now this time, I didn't even know this, but we had to take a shuttle from our gate from Terminal 3 to this like I don't know how to call it, like a outpost terminal. It's like a midway terminal. I think they called it, what did they call it? I think it was called 1B or something, or 1C. Anyway, it's a different building. It brought us to another building with gates and like a little like cafeteria, washrooms there. So that was interesting. We were brought to another building at Pearson, YYZ, and then we finally boarded the plane there. We don't choose our seats ahead of time. We don't want to pay extra for that. We just take whatever is available for us to choose at the time of check-in. At this point, Kyle and I weren't sitting next to each other, but that's fine. Like we're not bothered by that anymore. It ended up being relatively close to each other. So by the time the plane leaves, I don't know what it was, but there was a delay. Our flight was delayed by about an hour. And, you know, at this point, Kyle and I intermittent fast. We don't really eat breakfast or lunch. What really broke our fast that day were the beers, but that's all we had to eat. So granted, our flight was supposed to leave at around 4 p.m. It didn't leave until like 5. It didn't like take off until like 5 or after 5. So we arrive an hour later as well. We were supposed to arrive around 8 p.m. At Punta Cana, but it ends up being like a little after 9 p.m. And then once we arrive, the customs line was not fast. I'll say that. Somehow Kyle and I were one of the last people to get through the customs line. That's where they check your migration form. And then we're finally making our way to the carousel, luggage carousel, and we've noticed all the bags, most of the bags have already been pulled off the carousel. It's not even moving anymore. Kyle found his bag very easily, but I did not. So, I'll just say the first thing we thought was like, did someone thief my bag? Did someone like steal my bag? But then, you know, I thought about it, it's like, likely not. It's not the first time actually that I've lost the baggage coming out of Pearson. So my assumption was my bag probably got dislodged off one of the conveyor belts in the airport and just got stuck in Toronto. So the rest of the plane left. Maybe they were looking for it. Who knows? I don't know if there's like a barcode manifest or whatever they do with check-in luggage, but if that was the cause for the additional delay of departure by an hour, but or not, but we arrived and my bag was not there. So I had to go to the I guess the airport representative there by the carousel and claim my lost luggage. There was another couple parties there that also lost their luggage. One of them was felt like it was more of a like an international transfer. They were coming from Europe, and then someone else was also from Toronto where they lost a bag as well. So I was the last one to report my bag. Now we're like really delayed. Like we got through customs maybe 9:30, and now it's like 10 o'clock, and I'm still talking with the luggage person. There is still a transfer from the airport to the resort, so I'm making the bus wait for me too. I felt bad, but then again, like I had no choice. So took another 30 minutes. I'd say we probably left the airport like after 10 o'clock, and the bus is still like another 30 to 40 minutes I'd say to get to the resort. So it's close to 11 p.m. when we arrive at Jewel. We dropped off a couple people first at their resorts, and then when they got to Jewel, it was only me and Kyle that got off the bus. So we were like, is there anybody who's gonna be here? We thought like it was dead. There weren't a lot of people in the lobby either, so we were a little concerned that like maybe it was gonna be too quiet that weekend. We get our room, give our information so we can check in for our suite, and they gave us a little, I think it was a fruity, but I don't think it was alcoholic, like welcome drink at the lobby. It was, first impression was it was nice. It was a nice looking lobby, very clean, not like modern looking, but it looked fairly new. Like we were impressed. We still didn't know at this point that it was a rebrand of Dreams Punta Cana. So I had to talk to the concierge, asked him about like what's the process of my lost bag. He told me the next morning I'd have to come back to the concierge and talk to a sunwing representative to inquire if they find my bag. I have like the luggage sticker, the luggage tag that would have the matching number. So at this point it's almost 11 p.m. and on the schedule of the resort, it's supposed to close at 11. Like the last place for a restaurant to eat would close at 11. But at this point, everything was already closed. What we've noticed throughout the evening was even the buffet ends up closing closer to like 9:30 or 10 o'clock when it's supposed to close at 11. So we were hungry. We hadn't eaten anything all day except for those couple of beers at the airport. So we were pretty hungry, but we had no choice. We had to go to the room first. We went to the room, dropped off our bags. I still had my backpack. Kyle had his luggage. And the first thing we did was order room service, which is included. Any food that you order is part of your package. So we looked at the room service menu for late night food, and we could order nachos, hamburger cheeseburger, chicken wrap, club wrap, or a club sandwich, and the last thing was a hot dog. So we ordered one of everything so we could try it all, and we were just going to split everything in half. We liked the nachos. It's good. It was like pico de gallo, and like avocado or guacamole and nacho cheese with the nachos. It was good. Cheeseburger was pretty good. Came with fries. The club sandwich and the wrap were okay. They also came with fries. Kyle wasn't a fan of those things, but I was very hungry. And then the last thing was the hot dog, which was not good. I wouldn't recommend that. But it definitely hit the spot. We were starving, so we were nice and like our hunger was, I guess, subsided from that meal. We kind of wanted a drink at this point, and we know that there's one last like club open for the night. It was called Jasper's, and so we decided to do like walk the grounds. It was dead. Like we thought there was like barely anybody else there. The lights were on in some of the rooms, but I think they do that more for like ambiance, or like to look that it's full. But we concluded by the end of the trip that it was probably around 25 to 30% capacity. Um, but especially at night, it just feels very dead. It's very quiet. A lot of people are back in their rooms because, again, there's no late night snack bar. The club is back around the lobby area, and it wasn't a popular spot late night. Most people went to bed. So we're a little concerned for the first night. It was dark, so what we saw on the grounds was nice. Like the pool is nicely lit in the evening. You can see that here in the picture of this website here, guys. This is the central pool in between the suites. So there's the suites on the left side and the right side. I think the left side here, what you see on the picture, is more of like the upgrade, because you have the option of having the pool right outside your walkout like patio or lobby of the building. So I think there's 9 buildings, and the left side you had the pool right up to it, but on the right side you still have just a bit of a walk to come out to the pool. We were in building 8, room 8111, and we were on the ground floor. We ended up facing the far right. I don't think you can see my cursor here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna switch it here so you guys can see what I'm pointing at. So you should see my cursor here now. Yeah. So I think our building was like this one or the next one, and we would face around here towards the fence on the back. Actually, it might have been this right here, or maybe a couple one over. So our view wasn't great, but we didn't want to pay extra just for like that upgrade of a view. Or it would have been nice to maybe get a second floor so we have like a balcony instead of just a walkout. But we weren't very concerned about like security or like, privacy. We did leave our clothes out on that like little patio section so that we could dry it out overnight or for the day while we're wearing other clothes. So yeah, the sun rises on this side of the resort, on the, I guess, the east side. And so our curtains in the room weren't blackout curtains. There's like a white, sheer, and then there's like a pink kind of inner curtain, but the pink doesn't block out all the light. So even if you were to close all the curtains, you'll still get like that light source coming through in the morning when the sun rises. So just be aware of that. You're not going to be able to keep it dark in there if you like to sleep in. We generally woke up around 9 or 10 a.m. unless we were trying to hit something earlier. Went to the resort. Went back to concierge that second morning, or the second day, our first morning there. I did speak with like a Nexus concierge representative. There was no sunwing that comes every day. Again, usually when we go to an all-inclusive, there's like an orientation on the first day or when you arrive to tell you about all the excursions or whatever you like wanted to do. Kyle and I were definitely not planning on doing any excursions. We wanted to keep the costs low, so we were going to stay on the resort the whole time. And so there was no sunwing orientation, or there was no sunwing representative there. I had to, with the concierge, I gave her, again, the luggage tag sticker that I had on my lost luggage, described it. She entered it into the system. She called it in, I believe. And then we went back to the room. I don't know if we had breakfast that morning, but went back to the room, changed for the second day. I ended up having to borrow some of Kyle's clothes for the day. But we had a great time on the beach. You can see that up here, guys. The walk from the room to the beach isn't far. It's like, I don't know, I'd probably do it in under 5 minutes if you really wanted. From what I remember, yeah, it could be about 5 minutes. The pool, the fact that it stretches basically from the lobby area, just a little bit in from the lobby area, all the way through up until the beach line there is very nice. It's a very nice looking grounds, as you can see. Like this picture, I know it's like a website picture, but it's accurate to like how clean and how picturesque the resort layout actually is. Um, these rooms, yeah, this is basically the kind of furniture and the color palette that we had in our room. We did have a little like sofa there as well, but you could see the furniture is a little older. Flat screen TV there, but it's not an HD feed, guys. We noticed right away that when we turned the TV on, it is like a standard definition signal, and they just upscale it into whatever the size of the screen is. So it's very poor quality. We didn't watch TV though, like we just kind of left it on when we first arrived. Here, what I'm gonna do is just make this bigger. So one thing we did notice right away though was like, yeah, this is definitely not a new build. Like you could see from furniture, even the ceiling fan. We looked in the washroom, the piping under the sink, like definitely looked dated. Like it didn't look terrible or horrible or anything like that, but it was definitely not new. We were hoping for something maybe a little bit more modern, something a bit more new, but we weren't like bothered by it. Like we didn't pay for the room, you know. Like AC worked. We had a mini fridge. We later realized that the mini fridge wasn't plugged in the first couple of days we were there. It wasn't even like cooling the drinks, but that's okay. We only really just needed the water, and we didn't mind the beer that was in there either. And sorry guys, I'm like kind of getting over a cold that I just got recently. So yeah, we were there from April 13 to we got back April 21st, 2 a.m. in the morning. But yeah, the room was fine. What else about the room? Yeah, like we had a very nice cleaning staff. So every day we would have the room turned over for us. So we had fresh linens, fresh towels every day. It was very neat and clean to come back into the room. So thank you very much to the staff there. We were happy about that. Like I said, the grounds were very picturesque. This little section you see here, this meeting and events, I think that's if you have a wedding. They have a hall on the upper floor of the lobby, but we didn't really get to see this setup there. And I'm pretty sure there were a couple wedding parties at the resort while we were there, but I didn't see or witness any weddings during our time. So that's one thing. One thing I want to mention is from Friday to Sunday, I found out that they do offer like a discounted rate for locals. So what we noticed from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is that the population of locals was definitely noticeably more than when we first arrived. And also noticeably more, we were there still from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday following after the weekend. And we also noticed that there was noticeably busier with the locals. It's not that like it bothered us, but I will say that it was a different feeling that we've had from other resort experiences. For one, you don't need a wristband to be in this resort, which we like that. Like it's kind of annoying and cumbersome to have a wristband for the whole week. Usually it's a marker for like which amenities or which like restaurants or buffet you could eat at. But in this case, didn't matter. There were neighboring resorts as well next to this resort. There's like 3 on the left and like a couple on, maybe 1 or 2 on the right. But yeah, we didn't really have any issues of like people coming into the resort who I guess weren't supposed to be there. We never bothered trying to walk into the other resorts either. If they had wristbands or not, we don't know. One thing I will note that was very handy was I've never had such good Wi-Fi coverage throughout the resort. So up until this beach line up here, where the chairs are, you can still get extended Wi-Fi coverage. So from when you enter the lobby, there's the main Wi-Fi signal, and then once you get like halfway up until the beach, there's an extended Wi-Fi signal too. So they have really good Wi-Fi coverage. The speed's pretty good for down, not very good for up. I don't know if it was yeah, it's pretty slow for upload, but download was pretty good. Didn't have any issues with any social media So that was really handy. Um, you know, I don't think Kyle's gonna be joining. I was hoping that a couple of the people we spent the trip with would join me for this podcast, but it's a bit late for them today. Um, I'm gonna try to wrap this up fairly quick. Um, I'm gonna talk about the staffs. Particularly, there's a few people that I want to mention. Um, in terms of food, guys, a la carte. There's a lot. There were a variety of a la carte options. There's like seafood. There's a steakhouse. There's Italian, and there's Japanese, and there might have been one more. I don't remember. There's a VIP club as well. Actually, that's this building. I think you see here, or maybe this building. Um, but that's like for VIP members only. So depending on if you paid for that upgrade with your room key, you have access to that. I did check out the like activities, like teenage activities and sports center. They have a basketball court, volleyball. Sorry, they have a basketball court, tennis court. They have like a climbing wall too, if you wanted to do some climbing. Billiards, foosball, ping pong, giant chess, giant checkers. It was a lot of activities. There was like an arcade video game room. I never checked it out, but it looked like they had some like computers in there. Um, the volleyball area was around. I think it was like around here, where I'm pointing to, and I would say like that was probably one of the biggest contributors to us becoming more social with the other guests. It's a really quick and easy way to meet a lot of different guests at the same time. You learn all their names because they're all in your teams. You know, after a point or not, you know, clap hands, high five, whatever like that. And it was a nice, like, friendly, social experience there to meet other guests. And that's where I met Tirson. Tirson is one of the main, like, activity guys. Let me get all their names. But Tirson for sure. Thank you, Tirson. I want to say shout outs to Tirson for, like, he was my favorite among the staff. Friendly, caring. I did get injured on the volleyball, like on the volleyball court. It's like a beach volleyball. Kind of hurt my knee there, and my earring got ripped out of my ear from the net. It's like kind of a annoying story, but like not annoying, but like I had a collision at the net. We both fell down to the sand, but the net got caught in my earring. I have like this like kind of open loop, and then it yanked my earring through the hole. Luckily, not ripped out through my lobe. It just pulled through the hole. So like I was bleeding a little bit, but I was fine. But it was really nice that like everyone on the volleyball court was like concerned and like looking for my earring, which nobody found in the sand. Tirson was super kind, super caring, and like I ended up getting it like patched up by the lifeguard at the beach. But yeah, I want to say that Tirson, again, he deserves a raise. He works so hard. All these guys work really hard. I think they work like 14-hour days minimum, 6 days on, 2 days off. And so I think Tirson, like, he deserves a raise. You guys, Jewel Punta Cana, you should give him a raise. Jose Manuel, he's another guy. He leads like the dancing in the morning and like the little aerobics or like Zumba classes during the day or in the pool. Also very kind, friendly, approachable. Another one of my favorites. Got to say thank you to him too. You guys should reward him as well. Number one dancer on the premises, I'd say entertainment. Super skilled dancer is Zaira. Definitely, she deserves like some praise, and you guys should give her a raise too. And my favorite bartenders were actually at La Teresa. They were there's a closer to the lobby, but just through the lobby section, like more on the, I guess, the south side. There's a bar by the pool called La Teresa, and the bartenders there, their names were Breidy and Josephine. Definitely, those are my favorite bartenders. They recognize me. Maybe my vitiligo helped over the way I did my hair, but whatever. and there weren't really a lot of Asians there. But in any case, they recognized when I would go there. That's where I ordered most of the Mama Juana that I drank for that week. It was a great trip, a great week there. Great servers there. And the last server that I also want to thank and commend is, I think, Angel or Angel. He's the guy who works at the disco, Jasper's Disco Bar and Club, nightclub. Really nice guy. He looked out for us too there. So our general take though for the week was that it was understaffed, particularly the bars. You had to wait a little bit to get served, and we didn't find that all the bartenders, all the servers were as kind as the ones I just mentioned as my favorites, Breidy and Josephine and Angel. Some of them maybe don't acknowledge you when you're standing there. They might decide to do something else before serving you. Maybe they're looking first for like somebody who tips better. I don't know. We're very kind and social people, and we're like very sociable. We like to make friends with everybody, but we just noticed that maybe some of the service wasn't quite as friendly as we experienced in the past. So that was a bit of a, not like a bummer or anything, but it was noticeable that maybe post pandemic it's a very stressful time, understaffed, probably a more difficult tourism kind of industry now with inflated prices. So yeah, quality of service wasn't so great from everybody. But having said that, the ones I commended were awesome. The wait staff at the buffet were great. The food at the buffet was good. No complaints there. Variety was good. We spent most of our meals at the buffet. At the a la carte, it wasn't busy. Like I said, 25-30% capacity. So we didn't bother with like. You didn't have to. You didn't actually have to wake up early and book your a la carte meals. You just had to. You just had to walk up to the entrance, and depending on how busy it was, we got lucky. Kyle and I got lucky. On our last day, we decided to go to the steakhouse, and we just walked right in. Right when we went in, like around 6:30 p.m. But we heard other nights it was a lot more busy. Some people had to wait 30 to 40 minutes to get a table. So if ever we heard that there was going to be a little bit of a wait, we just went straight to the buffet. One thing I was missing, and it hasn't been in Punta Cana or Dominican in the last few times that I've gone there, but I just remember Grand Bahia and also Bavaro Princess when I went there in the past, that they served lamb, but yeah, I didn't find any lamb. Crash Test Dummy asking, do we pay for a la carte? No, a la carte is also included in the package. You just had to make sure that restaurant was open for the day. They had a schedule that you had to check every day. Every day there was a new schedule. It wasn't laid out for the week. You had to kind of go to the lobby and check it every day if you really wanted to know what was going on. That's new for us too. It was also new for us that there wasn't really much interaction activities aside from the pool interactions with like dancing and like working out by the pool. But usually there was like a karaoke night, or maybe like the dancers animation team would dance more with the guests at the bar, like between dinner or after dinner, or before the disco. And then they would also go to the disco so that they would dance with the guests at the disco. But we didn't see that this time. You could get steak every day. I don't know actually if the steakhouse was open every night, but you could get grilled meat, grilled steak, pork, beef, or chicken at the buffet every night if you wanted. Like you can get a fresh grilled steak if you wanted. Some of the other guests didn't like the deep fried fish or something like that. Like it was a full fish. Apparently it was very salty or whatever. But yeah, Kyle and I went at steakhouse on the last night. We ordered. He ordered. I forget what kind of steak he ordered. I ordered a rib steak. It was cooked good. Like I asked for medium rare. I'd say it was maybe medium rare, medium. They the server did write down all our side orders. Like there were different potatoes that we could have had, like a truffle puree versus like fries or wedges or whatever. A bunch of us ordered the truffle puree, but none of us got it. We just got fries or wedges. So they kind of messed up our order there, but the mains were correct. The dessert was correct. We sat with another couple, and I do remember the wife, she didn't get exactly the order she wanted to for her side. So despite that, they were very kind, friendly. Just they messed up the order, even though they wrote it down. Um, the the shows in the theater every night, some were really good. The ones we particularly enjoyed was any kind of acrobatics. There was like a circus show. The circus show is probably the best. Another, you could tell like another company came in and did the show. There was like some trapeze. There was like silks. Um, a lot of like suspended hanging things with like flexibility and stuff like that. And there was a couple strong men who like did, you know, some like calisthenic type of poses together or whatever like that. It was really impressive. It was a good show. Other shows weren't so great. I will say the magic show was kind of, I we heard it wasn't very good. We kind of weren't, we didn't really get to pay attention very much that night, so we didn't really catch the magic show. But apparently it wasn't very good. There was another night that was called like movie night or like into the movies or something like that, where they do like themes from movies, Star Wars, Twilight, whatever it was. It was a bit, I gotta use the word corny. You're not going there really to see some high caliber theater show. Some other resorts I'd say did provide like a higher tier type of show, but I'd say maybe, you know, Jewel Punta Cana, they could probably step that up a little bit if they really wanted. Wasn't the highlight of the week, I'd say. And yeah, the disco at night, they play a lot of, I guess, local Caribbean or like Latin music, which could be a vibe for a lot of people. But I found that, like, there were a lot of Canadians at the resort, and we weren't really vibing to it very well. So my last night, I went out there. Kyle was already sleeping by then. He was really tired from the week. That's one thing too. I didn't really sleep well the entire week, not because of like any kind of experience, but yeah, I think I just had a hard time sleeping. I'd stay up late and then wake up relatively early, and I don't sleep very well. I did have a couple nightmares, maybe a couple times too. Like, what's that called? Like, oh shoot, what's that called? Where you're like you can't move when you're dreaming. Paralysis, sleep paralysis, something like that. Apparently, that's a common thing when you go on these all-inclusives. For some people, like, you experience some of that sleep paralysis. I kind of did that. I remember I yelled out to Kyle a couple times from like my nightmare or whatever. He had to wake me up. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, the disco wasn't that great, but the last night I did like go out there, drank a bit more, we partied nice, and had a little bit more fun once you kind of let yourself go. I did. In the morning, I will recommend, if you wake up around, 5:45, around this time of year, the sun rises around 6:15, 6:18 a.m. So I did go out and try to do a time lapse. The sun rises here on like this side of the corner, so it's over the water. In my past experiences, it was, the sun did come out. It was a nice picturesque sunrise, but this time around, I tried it on my last morning, and the clouds didn't part. Like, the clouds basically blocked the sun for the first few hours, so I didn't even catch it on my time lapse. You guys can see it in my other YouTube video called DR 2023. You guys can watch that video. It's kind of like a summary of the day. There's snorkeling available. There's kind of some reefs around there with fish. There's a very specific area that you're allowed to swim, because if you swim outside that area, you could get stung by sea urchins. So they are pretty strict about making sure you only swim in the buoys. But you can walk down the beach on this area. You walk like towards the west for about 10 minutes. 10-15 minutes. You can get to the other resorts, beach areas where they had more coral. It was like a cooler explorative experience. There were no like roped up buoys. They just tell you to be, stay within like the open areas on the water. Don't go over the coral because that's where you could get stung by sea urchins or whatever. Anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask it down in the comments below. As I said, I'm gonna try and finish writing up my TripAdvisor review, and I'll post that on TripAdvisor. I'll probably link that in the description of this video once this has been published and once I've finished my post. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, by the second evening, I forgot that in my summary, but the second evening I did get a call. We were back in the room. I got a call. It was from the concierge, and they told me my luggage did arrive, and my luggage was at the lobby. And they offered if they wanted somebody to bring it to our room, but I was like, no, I'll come get it. So I basically went to the lobby as quickly as I could. And yeah, just the next day in the evening, my luggage arrived, so I was happy about that. Had my own clothes, had my own board shorts and all that stuff that I could wear for the rest of the week. So that was fun. It was fine. I'm still trying to see if Sunwing could do something to compensate me for that lost day. So, yeah, it was a great trip. We got sunburned. Like, definitely wear a lot of sunscreen and reapply every 2 hours, especially if you're swimming. I brought some like arm sleeve temporary tattoos from Amazon. I brought those on the trip, so we had some fun posting those. Check out the video in my channel from DR 2023. You can see all the fun we've had. I even brought out my Insta360 camera in the water and on the beach, so you can see just how awesome the grounds were and how the beach was. Oh, sorry. Last thing I will say too, there are other food snack areas. There's one close to the beach over here on this end, and there's like midway, I think, around here or here. They have a couple snack areas that they could do fried chicken, cheeseburgers, or kebabs, and I think they even had gyros or gyros and pizza. They made pizza as well there too. So I would say drinks are good. If you care about like the kind of rum, we recommend Barcelo Imperial. If you like a better rum than the standard Brugal that they use for all the mixing. The pina coladas were fine. Malibu babies were good. I just had a bunch of those and rum and coke, or just rum and water, rum on ice with the Barcelo Imperial. One of the days Kyle had issues with his stomach. A different day I had issues with my stomach. It could have been a mixture of the alcohol and the dairy, with the cheese on the pizza or whatever like that, or it could have been the smoked salmon. I don't know, but I do remember one of the days was a bit more of a concern than the rest of the days. But after that one day, I was good to go again. So yeah, like I said, guys, sorry I was trying to wrap this up, but if you have any questions or any comments you want to share about if you stayed at Jewel or Dreams, let us know what you think in the comments below. And hopefully you found this podcast review helpful. It was a bit long-winded with my story. But again, I'll link the TripAdvisor review that I'll hopefully complete the next day or so. I'll put that in the description of this video once it's done. Anyway, thanks guys. Check out the pictures on their website. Check out Sunwing if you're curious. Once again, shout outs to Tirson, Jose Manuel, Breidy and Josephine, Zaira and Angel. You guys were my favorites throughout the trip. Definitely made a lot of friends. Greg, Mel, Nick, Mike, Diana and Sergio, Sunny as well. We made a lot of friends during this trip. And of course, Stephanie and Ava, you guys are our favorites, our new favorites anyway. Hopefully we'll see you guys again soon. Yeah. I think I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, click like, subscribe. All that jazz. We'll see you guys hopefully next week. I don't know if I'll be able to do the podcast next week if I'm working, but This was cool. Hopefully you found it helpful. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.